And then he gives this third picture here in the section we've just read where the bride, the church, us, we're wearing linens. And then later on, as we're going to read, as God's army, they go into battle wearing these same linens, which is weird because I don't know about you, I usually don't wear linen. Linen's usually something you have for like tablecloths in our age, though some of my shirts look like tablecloths, I will admit that. Fair enough. But we know, at least back then, linen is a material that was used for bridal gowns. But as a soldier? What kind of soldier goes into army and suits up in white linens? Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other connection that John wants to make for us. Linen was not only a material used for bridal gowns, it was also a material used for priestly robes. Get the connection that John is trying to make here for us. What we are wearing is indicative of the battle that we are in. John is trying to make a connection way back to Genesis, when God spins the world into being and he places us in the center of the garden as what? As his icons, as his image, to be priests, to be stewards, to be co-creators, to mediate heaven and earth, to be priests. So what is John setting up here? He's continuing what we've already read, that there is a different way of being for you and I who are followers of the Lamb. And it reminds me, the same kind of joy, the same kind of laughter I had when my son was born. So he was actually born face up. So as he's coming out, his face is like this, like, And when I see his face coming out, sorry, son, I apologize for that scene, I start laughing hysterically, like I lose it, like belly laughing. My wife, who's to my left, is not laughing in this moment. The nurses are giving me like the stink eye, like, what is your problem, man? But I'm laughing my head off because I'm so happy. I'm raptured in joy. Why? Because this kid is mine. He is part of me. He is from me. And that's the same sense, the same feeling I get when I picture Jesus with his head stacked up with crowns, because one of those crowns is from me. Because he's my king over my life, over my world. And when I see him balancing that crown on his head, it makes me so happy. Did you catch that part where Jesus rides into battle, and before anything ever happens, his robe is already soaked in blood? Say what? The battle hasn't even started yet. And whose blood exactly is on that robe? And if he's going into a fight, why is the blood on his robe and not on his hands? It's strange. What if we think of it like this? That when the invisible hand that holds the stars finally does its triumphant restoring thing, it does nothing at all but hang there and bleed. You see, you hear, do you pick up what John is dropping here? Jesus wins because of who he is. And the blood that is on his robe is his blood, not the blood of his enemies. It's Jesus who is pierced, not the one doing the piercing. And he goes into this battle and doesn't raise a finger. And to be honest, as we read this final battle scene, it's pretty anticlimactic. Why? Because it's already won. What we see is the Lamb already bloodied. What we see is Jesus, our pathological lover, who is compulsive and obsessive and chronic and habitual. Why? Because he cannot stop loving us. So then, ask yourselves some of the hard questions that pop out of the text here this morning. For some of you here today, what you need to do is to laugh it out in full, wholehearted belly laugh joy. Because some of you are down and broken and depressed. I'm not trying to minimize your experience or what you're walking through. But what I am suggesting to you this morning is this, that maybe, just maybe, part of your victory, part of your healing is to sit back and look at all that Jesus has done as he balances all those crowns on his head, one of them being yours, and laugh in joy. Or maybe for some of you, the coin has to be flipped and you need to cry it out Absorb everything you can about who this Jesus is and what he has done. And who I'm talking to right now is all the tough guys out there who don't cry, or all the cold-hearted girls out there who do not cry. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you're sitting beside one right now. Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. It's okay to express yourself in this way and resign yourself. And if tears is what come, maybe that's what you need. So let it go. So this whole time, John has been talking in relational terms, not geographical terms, not giving those itty-bitty details. Why? Because he wants us to ask the right questions and to be satisfied with the answers we actually do have. Because John is more concerned with who than with where. Having assured readers that the saints will be with Christ, John leaves most other questions unanswered, as if to say, well, what more do you need to know? And that's the question that faces us this morning. What more do you need to know? But you might still have questions like, the dragon, he's out to exterminate the church. It's going to happen. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to me? Where are we going to go? Revelation answers by saying, we will be with Christ. Or you may say, but my kids, I'm losing them, or I've lost them. I don't know what they're doing or where they're going. What's going to happen? Revelation answers that question by saying, we will be with Christ. Or you might say, I'm a screw-up. I keep turning my life right into the ditch. Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? The answer for those of us who are disciples of the Lamb is, we will be with Christ. For those of us who expect and rely and surrender to the idea that actually he's going to redeem, fix, make everything whole, heal all of us and everything, John describes those kinds of people as refusers. Us kind of people as refusers. People like you and me who refuse to live in the way in the world by way of the world. People like you and me who refuse to hoard our money. People like you and me who refuse to be selfish with our time. People like you and me who refuse to turn a blind eye to those who are in need. People like you and me who refuse just to roll along in life and do things the way the world does because it's just the easiest way to roll. But John also caps it off here by saying, if that's what you choose, if you bank your life on Jesus, you may meet your end there. And if you do, so be it. So be it.